Welcome back to Brawlers Broadcast. And what a week of sports in general. But we're here to talk about MMA, UFC 300. Boy, the card delivered, and it delivered big time. Ritik, what are your initial thoughts, man, about the card in general?
भाई मैं तो ये कहूँगा कि इट लिव्ड अप टू द हाइप। मतलब सबने बोला था कि देयर वर लॉट ऑफ हार्ड कोर वांना बी यूएफसी फैंस वर सेइंग कि नहीं भाई उतना अच्छा कार्ड नहीं है ये वो ब्ला ब्ला। इट्स ऑल बुलशिट भाई, बहुत ज़्यादा अच्छा कार्ड था। मैं तो बहुत ज़्यादा खुश हूँ
बहुत ज्यादा।
भाई। जो फाइट्स जैसे जैसे बनाई थी दे ऑल लिव्ड अप टू द एक्सपेक्टेशन भाई। हर एक फाइट इनसेन थी
Yes,
ऑलमोस्ट। आई मीन ऑब्वियसली नो,
almost.
आई मीन
Exactly.
हेट नहीं कर रहा अल्जरवेन स्टर्लिंग पे, बट स्टिल।
नहीं. And yeah, great card, bro. And I think this was probably one of those times where I almost got all my predictions wrong. It's one of those bittersweet moments. Out of 13, 14 fights, I got 11 right. The only bitter moment was probably that Charles Oliveira lost, but Sarukian was the better fighter on the day. So great fight. And Turner ने तो भाई क्या disappoint करा है. I mean, I I literally had one of those moments, bro. जहाँ मुझे लग रहा था कि इस फाइट पे अगर पार्ले कर लेता ना तो अगले यूएफसी में मैं ऑक्टेगॉन साइड पे बैठ के देख रहा होता. I would have would have earned so much money,
सही
man.
में
But
भाई।
it is what it is. But good card, man. Great card, in fact.
ट्रू
And हम
ट्रू
लोग तो
ट्रू।
सब साथ में देख रहे थे बैठ के. So great watch party in general.
Insane stuff, man.
Yeah. So let's start with the prelims, bro. We'll make it quick. Nothing much to discuss apart from the two fights of Turner and Davison versus Cody Garbrandt. So take it away.
चलो एक एक फाइट देख लेते हैं अर्ली प्रीलिम्स की। मैं तो कहता हूँ पहले से स्टार्ट करते हैं। सो फिगी वर्सेस कोडी। अगेन गोइंग
Yeah.
इनटू द फाइट, मतलब मेरे को लग ही रहा था यार, मैंने प्रेडिक्शन भी यही दी थी कि फिगी वुड विन बाय TKO और नॉकआउट, बट दैट डिडंट हैपन। बट काफ़ी क्लियर डिफरेंस था स्किल में। काफ़ी ज़्यादा क्लियर डिफरेंस था स्किल में भी, एंड यू नो
Speed
एथलेटिसिज्म में
in
भी।
fact.
Athleticism maybe, and although Figgy is, I guess, older, yeah, he is definitely older than Cody, but वो लगा ही नहीं. It felt like a 26-year-old Figgy was fighting maybe a 35-year-old Cody. And the grappling difference was clearly evident. I think going forward also Figgy's grappling is going to be a huge problem for the division. काफ़ी अच्छी win
Yeah.
थी for Figgy. For Cody, kind of sucks, but I just think he's way past it at this point. I mean, कोई उसके लिए जो ढंग के फाइट्स हैं वो सारे अनरैंक्ड फाइट्स हैं सैडली, बट मूविंग फॉरवर्ड फिगी के लिए भाई काफ़ी ज़्यादा अच्छे अच्छे फाइट्स हैं. आई वुड लव टू सी अ फाइट बिटवीन फिगी एंड Petr Yan. I mean, that's a very big fight to make, and Petr Yan is
That's
actually
one
calling
good.
him out. He's actually been calling him out, and it can't get any bigger than that, bro. Like, दोनों इतने highly skilled. I think these are, they're probably the two most skilled fighters in the division when it comes to, all the entire set of skills, like grappling, striking, सब कुछ मिला के. So yeah, that's the fight that I want to see next. And
And they
after,
also have both fighters just have that badass aura to them, right?
yeah, yeah,
So I think that would be a fight that could potentially be a card opener or even a co-main event on a fight night. I mean, that fight
I
has a good
mean, bro,
magnitude.
it could be a main event on a fight night easily. Like
So,
when you
definitely.
when you look at some of the fights, bro, just check the main event for the next fight night, and you'll be like, Pyodayan versus Figgy could easily be the main event of that fight. Bhai, that's a
That's
very big
true.
fight. And yeah, Cheeto versus Figgy is also a very interesting fight, by the way.
Yeah.
I don't know if they would fight each other, but yeah.
And I think Cheeto did call him out, right? Or Cheeto did say that he would. I mean, Cheeto has been kind of salty since that Sean loss,
I mean,
but
I hope he did call
I
Figgy
think
out.
I think he did, or I think he mentioned him somewhere, if I'm not
Mm-hmm.
wrong.
No, that's a sick fight.
So that's a pretty good fight.
True, true, true.
And I also feel, yeah, that I think one good takeaway for Cody Garbrandt from this fight is that at least he didn't get cracked and he didn't get dropped. So there has to be some sort of positive in that, right?
Right, right, right.
But it is what it is. I think by and large, it was not a result that nobody was shocked by.
Mm-hmm.
So the division moves on, and I just hope we get to see Figueredo in a badass fight again.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure.
And speaking from badass, bro, let's just quickly review what happened in the fight between Bobby Green and Jim Miller. The guy has been at UFC 100, 200, and now 300. He took
Man,
a lot of punishment, but that guy has some chin on him.
या फॉर श्योर भाई, बट लेकिन दैट वाज सम एस whooping मैन, कितनी ज़्यादा क्रेजी एस whooping थी भाई. मतलब इट फेल्ट ऑलमोस्ट, इट फेल्ट अनफेयर एंड डिसरिस्पेक्टफुल भाई. मतलब जिस तरीके से बॉबी ग्रीन ने उसे पेला भाई, मतलब ठीक है, बट आई काइंड ऑफ, आई मीन आई हैड बॉबी ग्रीन विनिंग. लाइक आई थॉट
Yeah,
the age
actually,
difference would be too much, and it was. Bobby Green is not a young fighter, by the way. He's, I think he's about 37 years old, but again,
yeah,
his striking is just on another level when you compare him to someone like Jim Miller. Although Jim Miller cracked him, a couple of times, but that's just
yeah,
how Bobby fights, with his hands down. He's bound to get cracked every now and then, but yeah. Uh, in terms of the grappling exchanges, again, Bobby Green is no joke. He's too athletic, and he's a very, I would say, he's a very good wrestler too. I mean, I
yeah,
think he out grappled Tony quite easily. I mean, he also
yeah.
obviously choked him out, and I think there's not much to discuss in this fight. ज़्यादा कुछ था नहीं, मतलब बॉबी ग्रीन जैसा एक्सपेक्टेड था, जैसे लोगों ने एक्सपेक्ट किया था, he won. What did you think about the fight,
Yeah.
man?
I mean, nothing very surprising. Miller is far older than him. I think Miller is what, 42 if I'm not wrong. And I was not surprised. He took an inhuman amount of punishment, and I think
40
we were even
actually. He's
discussing
40
this
years
during
old, I
the
believe. Hmm.
fight. I mean, we were even discussing this during the fight that for someone who's been fighting and taking that head damage for so long, Miller still looked like he had his he had some sort of cohesion when he was fighting. So
Yeah.
that's pretty respectful, yeah. But I mean, I don't think that fight benefited either of the guys, and it is what it is, and nobody was surprised with the
Yeah,
result
it's
once
funny.
again.
It's funny you said it did not benefit either of the fighters, because you know what happened since Max Holloway won. Bobby Green actually
Yeah.
dropped down one rank, even though he won the fight. बेचारों की सबकी rankings एक एक spot नीचे आ गई है पूरे
Uh,
lightweight division because Max won. Yeah, and he's not ranked.
uh,
Yeah,
you were talking about getting cracked, bro. I think Marina Rodriguez got cracked a lot when
yeah,
she was fighting Jessica Andrade, but I think this is one of those where I think you didn't pick Andrade to win, right? You had Marina winning this
yeah.
fight.
I had Marina winning, and you know what? My prediction wasn't too bad because from what happened in the fight was, it reminded me of Cheeto Vera versus Rob Font. Matlab, Rob was doing just about enough every single round, but he kept getting dropped towards the end of the round. So like
Yeah,
there was no way the judges were going to give him the round because he was getting fucked up ultimately. Matlab, ultimately he was the one getting receiving all the damage, but again, volume, in terms of volume and just pure technical striking, he was outstriking Cheeto. तो वही चीज़ हुई इस
that's
फाइट में भी. मैंने भी एक्सपेक्ट किया था कि मरीना रॉड्रिगेज इजीली आउटस्ट्राइक कर देगी, एंड शी वाज डूइंग इट, बट एट द सेम टाइम Jessica Andrade is just, she's the Mike Tyson of the women's MMA, man.
yeah,
Like वो बंदी, she even fights like him. Like she's so short and stocky, and she
yeah,
keeps moving forward, and वही मतलब हर राउंड में ऑलमोस्ट नॉकडाउन करते करते she won via split decision. And fair enough. I mean, good enough win. I just think she's not. I actually doubted Jessica Andrade a lot because I thought she was way past her prime at this point because she had been losing a lot recently, and in a bad way also. So I'm glad she won. I'm glad she won. She fought a top contender and she won. So what did you
yeah.
think about the fight?
Honestly, I don't remember the fight that much. I remember that I saw two rounds and I was awake for one. But
Mm-hmm.
pretty good fight. I think it went the way in which I expected because I believe दोनों के बीच में power difference was pretty apparent, right?
Right.
So Jessica Andrade capitalized on that, and I was not very surprised with the result of the fight. But you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Barring the knockdowns, that fight could have been neck and neck. So it could have gone either way. It was one of those.
Yeah, yeah.
But pretty fun watch. And since we're talking about wins, I think the next fight is going to be one of those that, apart from anyone who's bet on the fight, I think Turner, if he looks at that fight again, he's gonna kick himself as well because my God, what was that, yaar? What was that? I mean, was he trying to go for one of those iconic moments because the 300K was on the line when he dropped him? I really don't understand what he was trying to do, and he ended up losing the fight.
पता नहीं भाई
What
क्या,
was that?
नॉट श्योर क्या करना चाह रहा था, एंड आई वॉज वन ऑफ दोज पीपल हु बेट ऑन हिम. I thought he would win
Yeah,
comfortably, and he was winning comfortably. That's
it
the
was.
most frustrating part, man. सबसे frustrating चीज़ तो यही है. और I mean, he just fumbled it, man. There's no other way to put it. He fumbled it. I mean, he was trying to be Mark Hunt. Mark Hunt बनने की कोशिश कर रहा था. He wanted a walk off KO. I get it, bro. But just did you just forget what you did to Bobby Green a few months ago? You almost killed that man. You almost killed that man for a stoppage. And you can't do the same. Obviously, as fans, we don't want that to happen to any other fighter. But I mean, bro, just continue. Have the killer instinct that you had a few months ago. I mean, it was very annoying for me to watch because
Very, very.
Jalen Turner is one of the guys, he's got a lot of potential in him. And Renato
Yeah.
Moicano, I get it. He's अब वो थोड़ा आजकल थोड़ा ज़्यादा आ रहा है पिक्चर में because he's been talking a lot lately. तो अब ज़्यादा आ रहा है पिक्चर में, but he's a veteran man. वो कोई नया फाइटर नहीं है Renato Moicano. He used to be in the featherweight division पहले, and he was ranked, I believe, in the top 5, I guess top 5 or top 6 at some point in the featherweight division. So he's a very seasoned old school fighter, veteran. He's a veteran. मतलब उसके लिए कोई I hate to say it, but so if has a future नहीं है career मतलब उसमें division में in terms of a title push or whatever. But for Jalen Turner, it sucks, man. I mean, he's a young fighter. He's very talented. So much potential. He just seems to be blowing it away. What did you think, man?
That's that's so true. Yeah, again, I mean, like I said, I think everyone was going to go headhunting in this card because of the 300K on the
Hmm.
line. And Turner really thought that he could kick it off by just, having that cold walk off with that KO, and it did not play in his favor.
Yeah, probably right.
So, again, it's one of those where he is going to look back at it and he'll be like, what did I even do and why did I do it? And now that I look at the rankings, by the way, had he won, he could have been in a better position because Moicano has bumped up to the 10th place in the lightweight division and Turner has dropped down 2 places. He's 12th.
Yeah,
I mean, he could have really seen himself go up to, like, let's say, what, an 8th maybe?
yeah, eighth or
But
ninth, yeah.
it did not happen for him. Holloway 9th hai abhi.
हाँ हाँ हाँ.
But
I know.
but it's just sad. It's one of those where he's really going to regret what he did.
True,
But
true, true.
ठीक है, it is what it is, man. He learned. He's an exciting fighter, I really feel, and he can
Hmm.
give trouble to a lot of the fighters in the division.
Especially in
So
terms of
I hope,
especially in terms of striking, man. He's one of the
yeah,
elite strikers in the division.
his range.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.